Hello and welcome to Mystery Storyteller. Today I want to talk about the mysterious disappearance of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were Dutch students while hiking in Panama. Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were Dutch students who disappeared on the 1st of April, 2014, while hiking in Panama. After an extensive search, portions of their bodies were found a few months later. Their cause of death could not be determined definitively, but Dutch authorities working with forensic and search rescue investigators thought it likely the students had accidentally fallen from a cliff after becoming lost. The circumstances and aftermath of their disappearance have resulted in much speculation about the cause of death. Foul play could not be entirely ruled out, and Panamanian officials came under fire for allegedly mishandling the disappearance and aftermath. Further investigation into the case in 2017 raised questions about the investigation, as well as a possible link to other murders in the area. Background: Lisanne Froon, 22, was described as an aspiring, optimistic, intelligent, and passionate volleyball player. Kris Kremers, 21, described as an open, creative, and responsible individual. Both had grown up in Amersfoort. Froon had graduated with a degree in applied sciences from Deventer the previous September, and Kremers had just completed her studies in cultural social education, specializing in art education at the University of Utrecht. Only a few weeks prior to leaving for Panama, Froon had moved in with Kremers in a dorm room in Amersfoort, and they worked together at the cafe restaurant in Den Kleinen. They both saved up money for 6 months and planned to go to Panama together on a special trip to learn Spanish, as well as to do something of significance for the locals, particularly volunteering with children. The trip was also supposed to be a reward to Froon for graduating. Disappearance. Kremers and Froon arrived in Panama for a 6-week vacation on the 15th of March, 2014. They toured Panama for 2 weeks before arriving in Bequite on the 29th of March to live with a local family for a month while volunteering with children. On the 1st of April around 11 o'clock, they took a dog that belonged to the owners of the Panista restaurant and went hiking near the clouded forests that surrounded the Baru volcano, on the Panista Trail, not far from Bequite. They wrote on Facebook that they intended to walk around Bequite, and it was reported that they had been seen having brunch with 2 young Dutch men before embarking on the trail. The owners of the restaurant became alarmed when their dog returned home that night without the young women. Froon's parents stopped receiving text messages, which both women had been sending to their families daily. On the morning of the 2nd of April, Froon and Kremers missed an appointment with a local guide. On the 3rd of April, authorities began aerial searches of the forest and local residents began searching. On the 6th of April, the parents of Kremers and Froon arrived in Panama along with police, dog units, and detectives from the Netherlands to conduct a full-scale search of the forests for 10 days. The parents offered a $30,000 reward. Backpack. The discovery of the backpack 10 weeks later, in June, a local woman found the backpack in a rice paddy on the bank of the Culebra Serpent River, near the village of Alta Romero, around 17 kilometers from Bequite and 8 kilometers from the summit of the La Pinista Trail. It was estimated that it's around an 8-hour walk from their last known location, and the village was in a very remote area which would have been difficult to hike on foot. Police from the Justice Department picked up the pack from the woman using a helicopter, and they assumed it had drifted to the area in the river. But the backpack contents were dry and undamaged, and the bag looked in good condition despite weeks in the jungle or river. Furthermore, the finder said she was sure the pack was not in the location the day before. Heavy rain had hit the area in the prior few weeks, so it would be expected that everything would be soaked through, suggesting it had been placed there prior to its discovery by persons unknown. Many different fingerprints and sets of DNA were detected on the backpack contents, but none led to any serious leads for the police. The first distress call had been made just hours after beginning their hike, one from Kremers' iPhone at 1639, and, shortly after that, one from Froon's Samsung Galaxy at 1651. None of the calls had gone through due to a lack of reception in the area except for one 911 call attempt on the 3rd of April that lasted for a little over a second before breaking up. After the 5th of April, Froon's phone battery became exhausted after 5 o'clock and was not used again. Kremers' iPhone would not make any more calls either, but was intermittently turned on to search for reception. After the 6th of April, multiple attempts of a false PIN code were entered into the iPhone. It never received the correct code again. One report showed that between 7 and the 10th of April, there were 77 emergency call attempts with the iPhone. On the 11th of April, the phone was turned on at 10:51 and was turned off for the last time at 11:56. Froon's camera contained photos from the 1st of April suggesting that the women had taken a trail at the overlook of the Continental Divide and wandered into some wilderness hours before their first attempt to reach 911, but with no signs of anything unusual. On the 8th of April, 90 flash photos were taken between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, apparently deep in the jungle and in near complete darkness. A few photos show that they were possibly near a river or a ravine. Some show a twig with plastic bags and candy wrappers on top of a rock. Another shows what looks like toilet paper and a mirror on another rock. And another shows the back of Kremers' head. The pictures on the Canon PowerShot. A key piece of evidence was the discovery of Lisanne's Canon PowerShot SX270 camera with over 100 images on the digital memory card, in addition to the passports, cell phones, sunglasses, cash and their bras when the contents of the backpack were searched. There were 133 consecutive photos found, with only one mystery shot missing. The camera has no GPS location option, so investigators could only establish or guess the location of the photos based on the surroundings that were visible on them. The first pictures on the 1st of April were standard tourist shots with both women laughing and smiling on a bright sunny day, with some selfies taken at the overlook of the divide. Most of the pictures were taken by Lisanne, with Kris walking ahead of her on the trail. Then we see the girls apparently following an indigenous trail near a creek stream bed heading downhill, away from their destination, Bequeat. Kris' face on one of the shots showing anxiety with sunset around 6:40 p.m. in the rainforest. IMG 508 is the last photo taken by Lisanne and Kris. But there are two versions of photo number 508. One shows in its metadata that it was taken 8 seconds after photo 507. But another version of the same photo states that this last photo of Kris looking backwards was taken 50 seconds before the previous photo of her passing the creek. This anomaly could be photo manipulation by someone. No more daytime photos were made on the 1st of April after the last stream picture number 508, so maybe they tried to return to Bequeat at this point but were intercepted. Dutch specialists have tried to undelete the missing photo, which normally is not a challenge when an image is manually deleted, because pressing the delete button does not mean the whole file is actually erased. However, experts failed to find the missing photo, and it would be impossible for the camera to skip a number by accident when shooting photos. Did someone connect the camera to a computer and erase a photo to make it irretrievable? Perhaps the girls themselves manually deleted this specific photo, and the subsequent photos have overwritten the deleted file permanently. But when a manually deleted photo is overwritten by new photos, there is often normally at least a fraction of the deleted photo found, and to find no trace is suspicious or puzzling at least. It is plausible that the Panamanian authorities took photo number 509 off the camera themselves because something was on it that they didn't want the outside world to see. Maybe its content was at odds with the controversial accident scenario that the Panamanian put forward as the main theory. Will the picture ever turn up? Investigators believe that someone deliberately deleted it for some reason. and with the help of a computer, and since it is between the normal daytime photos of the 1st of April and the mysterious night photos of the 8th of April, it could be a very important shot. Of all the holiday photos that the ladies made on their holiday, investigators did not find any deleted photos. In addition, the memory card had plenty of space left. The emergency services calls started around this time. Coincidence? Maybe, but probably not. The travel channels Lost in the Wild on the disappearance of Kris and Lisanne, and JJ and Kinga, the presenters, showed in a simple manner that if Kris and Lisanne had removed photo 509 manually, any time before the first nighttime photo was made, we would have never even known that it had been deleted, because the next photo, Aka, the first nighttime photo, would have automatically received photo number 509. The strangest pictures on the camera and perhaps of most interest were 90 photos taken on the 8th of April between 1 AM and 4 AM, many in complete darkness, with rain falling. Some taken a few seconds apart and others up to 15 minutes later. Several shots appear to have been taken deliberately as they were not blurred, indicating that they were not taken under duress. At this point, the girls had been in the rainforest for a week. Some have speculated that they were trying to use the camera as a light source in the pitch black, or perhaps to signal potential rescuers, or even to scare away wild animals. But analysis of the shots shows that many are taken below foliage and not in the open, and if the girls were trying to attract attention they would have taken pictures in the open. The theories. What happened to Kris and Lisanne? Initially, neither the Dutch nor Panamanian forensic teams could provide a cause of death, with the official theory from the Panamanian authorities being that the women both fell off a monkey bridge and were washed away. The Dutch also felt it was likely an accident, but some of the Panamanian police believed that the deaths could also have been foul play. The case was first officially declared a homicide and a crime against personal integrity by Panama's Attorney General in the Chiriquí Judicial State Report, but later in October of 2014, two forms from the Panamanian state officials described the deaths as a case of abduction. When forensic teams failed to come to a definitive and official conclusion, the case was closed and considered an accident, as Lisanne and Kris decided to continue into the wild terrain in Continental Divide region. According to officials, it was a simple case of being lost and Kris fell first. Lisanne tended to her, then photographed her remains in the dark and continued until she also fell, broke her ankle and foot, perhaps fell into the river and died too. Dutch pathologist, Dr. Frank van der Goot, said there is no way to get lost. You actually don't need a guide, and with regards to the official theory that the girls fell both off a monkey bridge and washed away, van der Goot said, no way. They would never ever go on it. In regard to the strange nighttime shots, Frank said yes. I saw them. They are creepy. They're Blair Witch Project. The part of the jungle out there is known by the guides as Jungle Hell. Past the Continental Divide, people die. Up here, when you are out there in daylight, there is no problem. When you are out there in the dark, it's game over. You haven't seen the cable bridges. I'm a mountaineer. You're full mortal on that bridge. It appears at first sight that both women died because of the difficult and dangerous conditions, but was there something more sinister at play here? For a start, it was strange that one of their bags was found some way from the river without water damage, but if foul play was involved, why weren't the valuables stolen? Maybe a rapist or a murderer just wanted to taunt the authorities, or they came across drug traffickers. A sad case indeed, with a terrible last few days for the Dutch girls. Kremers' denim shorts, zipped and neatly folded, were found atop a rock on the opposite bank of the tributary a few kilometers away from where Froon's backpack had been discovered, although later witnesses would claim the jeans were not neatly folded but found in the river itself. 2 months later, closer to where the backpack was discovered, a pelvis and a boot with a foot inside were found. Soon at least 33 widely scattered bones were discovered along the same riverbank. DNA testing confirmed they belonged to Froon and Kremers. Froon's bones still had some skin attached to them, but Kremers' bones appeared to have been bleached. A Panamanian forensic anthropologist later claimed that under magnification there are no discernible scratches of any kind on the bones, neither of natural nor cultural origin. There are no marks on the bones at all. Thank you for watching and listening. Stay safe always. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye bye, your mystery storyteller.